Well, imagine spending $100,000 to fix up your house, and then just 10 years later, you spend almost the same amount to do it all over again.
And that's what the Packers are doing at Lambeau Field, except on a much larger scale. Tonight, Fox 11 is on special assignment. Robert Hornacek looks at the latest renovation project and why it's being done now.
Do you remember when Lambeau Field used to look like this? I do. I was a new reporter in Green Bay back in 1999, but by 2003, the stadium was transformed thanks to a $295 million renovation project paid for in large part by Brown County taxpayers. Turns out that was just the beginning.
8 years after the renovation, the Packers added 2 new gates, scoreboards, a new sound system, and about 7,000 seats. Total cost, about $146 million. Now the team is poised to spend another $140.5 million to renovate the atrium. The Hall of Fame will move from the basement to the second floor. Curly's Pub will go from the second floor to the first, and the Pro Shop will go from the first floor to the ground level.
One way team officials try to describe the atrium project is by comparing it to a walkout basement. You see, everything you see in front of me here is going to be excavated, and the new Packers Pro Shop is going to be level with the parking lot to the east. The famous statues of Vince Lombardi and Curly Lambeau will have to be moved, but the plaza here right in front of the atrium will remain.
When the atrium was added in 2003, we didn't really anticipate how big and how popular the Pro Shop would become.
Mark Murphy is the Packers president.
You weren't here when they did the original project 10 years ago. Do you think some of these things should have been thought of and should have been part of that original plan?
Well, again, it's kind of like, when you've lived in a house for a while, there's certain things you can't know until you've lived in it, and I think that's part of it. And, I think, there was, funding became a little bit of an issue, and so some changes were made to make sure that everything came in on budget.
One example of that is a service tunnel. Murphy says back in 2003, there wasn't enough money to put one in. Now, one will be put in to connect the loading dock area to the atrium. While fans may not notice, Murphy says putting in the service tunnel will make a huge difference for the organization.
Right now, it's really difficult for us to get all of our product in and out of the store. It'll be much more efficient.
Pat Webb is the executive director of the Stadium District.
I just know some people have looked at it and thought, why does this need to be done? Should this have been done in the first place?
Well, I mean, all of that stuff is, is really...
Is it hindsight's 2020?
Well, I mean, part of it is that it's hindsight, but I think the Packers have had 10 years to live in this building, and the Packers are in a business, and I think they've evaluated this and think this is a necessary improvement.
While the changes may be necessary, some still question why the work wasn't part of the original project.
What took you 10 years?
Jerry Watson owns the Stadium View Sports Bar.
From a business perspective, does it make sense to do what they're doing?
Yes, I honestly think so. I've always thought it was totally insane to have everything where they had it. So to move it to where they're doing it, yeah, I think it's a really, really, really good idea.
You need to give somebody a reason to come and drop their money.
St. Norbert College economist Kevin Quinn says the changes to the atrium will give it a new look and attract people who may not have visited the stadium for a few years.
They are providing opportunities for people to have connection with the team in person, generate revenues that is not as costly as season tickets. And I think it's going to work.
One thing that separates the current renovation projects from the original one is funding.
The best thing is that there's no public money. I mean, it's all the Packers and the league.
Quinn says the Packers have plenty of money to spend. In 2010, the team made a $12 million profit. That jumped to $43 million in 2011. There's also the $67 million the team made from its stock sale.
What else would they do with this money? I mean, what else would we prefer them to do with this money? I think that as somebody who lives here, to spend it locally, to develop something that makes Green Bay more of a destination is a laudable goal.
So, what does the future hold?
10 years ago, the renovation was completed. 10 years in, a lot of major work being done. What do you see 10 years from now being done at the stadium?
I think the next big thing that I could see would be changing, especially in the premium area, maybe some of our seating options. You know, maybe club seats have, some of the club seats are a different type of seating option for people. Maybe we change some of the suites.
One thing fans can count on, as long as football teams need money, the Packers will look for ways to get more people to the stadium. For Fox 11 on special assignment, I'm Robert Hornacek.
If you would like to take a closer look at the Packers renovation plans, just go to our website, fox11online.com, click on the On Assignment tab. There you will find a detailed map and floor plan of all the changes. You'll also find a timeline of the renovation projects at Lambeau Field.